Hi, I am on steroids right now. I kid you not. The steroids of which are these power cuts. It's 11:05 at night, and just like I predicted earlier, there would be another power cut just 4 hours after a 4-hour power cut that we were endured through yesterday. Not yesterday, well, earlier on in the day. This is the same day, just putting it out there, where I was in the car and I was talking about the fact that the United States is under judgment and they are trying to force the world some kind of agenda to make them swallow it by force, and in so doing are blocking the rest of the nations in the world from preaching to their people the way that they ought, because they are just generally blocking or smothering everybody. That's that same day that the Lord has been granting the country that is the United States power to innovate and all that jazz, because they were his chosen people due to their obedience at first, but thanks to their disobedience at last, he's going to take innovation out of the country. And there are actually evidences of that, even with their war strategy. Like countries like China and Russia are militarily stronger than them, and they are struggling to manufacture things like ballistic missiles, long range, short range. They don't nearly have as much inventory on stock of that as these other countries that are literally trying to like decimate them. So they're obviously under judgment, but that's not what I'm here to talk about anymore. I just wanted to give a little bit of a recap of the last message that I did earlier today, and to help you understand that because of the fact that I don't want to die, I don't want to languish, I don't have any sleepiness in my bones. It's not, my body's clock is not slowing down. Like, yeah, it's not saying go sleep, garabo, at all. So I just want to let you guys know what these podcasts have done to me. I don't know when the solar panels are coming. I suspect that the company is likely inundated laboriously so, because a whole bunch of people are taking up their offer because the situation in the country is getting out of hand. So those who can afford it are pretty much buying their services. So they're taking forever and a day to get to my mom. She's on the list and they'll eventually come and install. I don't know when, but before then I guess we languish. But what I want to talk about tonight is the dreams that I had. I actually wanted to cover those dreams in the earlier part, but I was busy in the earlier videos that I did, that series that I did, but I was huffing and puffing so badly against the indiscretion of South Africa that I forgot to share my dreams. The dreams that I got, like the general strategy that is hovering around all over the show, so you can understand how bad the situation in the country is. I'm using my iPhone to light up the situation, so it mustn't die or anything like that. Goodness, it's the only source of light I have. That one back there is probably going to die any minute now, so my iPhone will be the last thing left. Yes, I had to put on some lipstick because I wanted to be pretty. Anyway, guys, this is what's going on. Things are real, things are intense, and things are extreme. And with all this realness, intensity, and extremity, there are shades of evil. Shades of evil, do you understand? That are doing their rounds out here in these streets. Witchcraft. We're gonna talk about it because it's an African drug. It's a worldwide drug, but people in Africa especially love to get drunk on it, okay? People here in South Africa especially love to get drunk on it. Sorcery, you guys, is a lie from the pit of hell, but a lie that is, stained. We shall use the word stained because it's ideal, with truth. The truth in and of itself does not stain anything, but when it's mixed with lies, it is especially dirty. So it's not, it's like the worst version of dirt that you can deal with. Satan is a power. So are the spirits of darkness. They're powers, do you understand? They operate in a dimension, a world that is fluid and eternal in comparison to ours. Doesn't have the limitations that we have. It is, however, limited what it is that they can do in this world, for there is only one omnipotent God that has all. Sorry, I got cut. I don't know what I was pressing for a button, but it just cut me. I think I last ended when I said that the devil does not have omnipotent power, only God does. Nonetheless, the devil and his hordes have got some kind of power, and this power is supernatural. Okay, it's nothing at all that we are born naturally being able to operate in. We are limited as the human race. Indeed, the Lord made us a little lower than the angels. Okay, So for those reasons, we don't operate in the same level of power as angels. And for right reason did he make us a little lower than the angels. We had to be a little bit more, I guess, subdued to powers in a way that powers just originally weren't, because, you know, they flew out of their place and their position precisely because they had these like supernatural powers. If you've seen mutant shows like the X-Men and whatnot, the devil and all these fallen angels, or God's creation that was created for heaven, to dwell in heaven before starting out on earth or whatever, are like mutants. They just have these superpowers from birth, and they just got to just use them because that's what God made a decision to do in them. But they defected, and so now a very power-hungry human race is gunning for these powers. Now, because the devil is aware of the thirst and the hunger for power, indeed, as it is written in God's word. As it is written in God's word. We have God as the, you know, I'm sitting so uncomfortably, but I'm like this way instead of leaning back on the pillow because I'm trying to, you know, get the light, because there's only one source of it and it's not that bright in this environment. Anyway, whatever. We have been created with basically God on our mind. We just don't know that it's God on our mind. We just have this wondering about ourselves of what's going on, what is our purpose, what are we supposed to do? And so, you know, entering into that pursuit of knowledge, if somebody comes and explains to us in a very ethereal, supernatural way what we're supposed to do, we then start to think that that source is God. And we start to validate that the supernatural does exist and that it's not just us here, and it just makes people go crazy. Unfortunately, most people don't tap into that realm via the right way. They don't tap into it via the way, the truth, the life, that no one comes to the Father but through, i.e. Jesus Christ. Most of them get lured by Satan very early on in their lives, or somewhere along the way in their lives, using occult magic, power. Human beings who are originally born believing that there's nothing out here other than us, or that there's no power beyond what we as human beings in our limitedness can do, they then find out that they can do more. So upon being introduced to mediums, psychics, soothsayers, those who interpret omens, whatever might be an occult practice, once they get into that, the thirst and the hunger for the supernatural is just magnified. It becomes insatiable. The reason that is the case is because human beings are, I guess, dead in trespasses and sins from birth, thanks to the fall. And so they, just like their father, the devil, want to run the show. They want to control everything around them, hurt people, having been broken-hearted. They want to find some supernatural way of dealing with the enemies. For instance, the people who have broken their hearts. In a society where morality regulates us and the eyes of mankind pretty much say you can't just kill your best friend, or you can't just act a total psychopathic fool or a sociopathic fool in the presence of others in order to deal with your enemy. You have to just exercise self-control and accept that life happens in a world like that tells you just deal. Supernatural powers for them are the thing that helps them deal without getting busted. It gives them a veil of anonymity. It promises them that they won't ever get found wanting. And so they imagine that they can powerfully make like God and not leave any sin unpunished. So anybody that hurts them, anybody that cuts in front of them in traffic, anyone that steals their boyfriend, anyone that does better than them in school even though they feel as if though the teacher was unfair in grading, anything of that nature, they feel like I'm going to come and bring myself justice. So it creates a very corrupt sense of justice in people. Following this corrupt sense of justice, of which they then get addicted to controlling the outcomes of everybody, that they might come up tops in society and be the only ones that don't have to feel like trash for life happening. Next part.